Okay, I've had a message that we are back to being live. Hope everyone enjoyed that little break. It's alright, tech issues happen. Okay, so we're gonna resume. There we go. So, we now have a little Dororo section. And all we're gonna do is just keep running. And then there's gonna be something coming up that we're gonna have to be a bit careful with because it's quite easy for Dororo to die. So we have to make sure that we keep her health good. But first we just have to run around here. There's gonna be some bug enemies, but they shouldn't bother us too much. They can jump, try and jump on Dororo. They should be okay. I don't remember besides that one. Okay, we're fine. So, what happens here is the mountain starts spitting out fireballs to try and get Dororo. These fireballs are all randomly placed, and sometimes it's really hard to anticipate when they're gonna come. We just have to be really careful when running here. We just have to keep running. There are some healing items, which I am definitely gonna pick up. There's one up here in this house, and there's going to be another one a bit later. Now, in this part of it, the fireballs are really mean in that sometimes because on the floor there's usually like a round circle to indicate where they're going to land. But up this hill, they can just fall down without any warning, like those ones in front of us, which is really unkind, but we're gonna try our best. There's a whole heap of them right there near that healing, so just wait a little bit. Now, another runner of this game, Timmy told me, when I was learning, he told me to stay on the left side because you're not as prone to get hit by the fireballs as you are on the right side. So I always stick to the left side, and it's pretty good for avoiding them. So that's just what we do. Keep going. That's there. Now we have to find the base of the giant hand and destroy it. So we've defeated the two hands of the mountain. And now we have to defeat the eye of the mountain. Right there. Now the way that we're going to be defeating this eye is by shooting cannon bullets at it. So right at the start, shoot a cannon bullet. And we want to have really good aim into aiming more near. Now, it takes 6 bullets in total with good aiming to defeat the mountain. Oh dear. That's okay. Good aiming. There we go. Now that its health is a bit less, it will start to direct its laser towards me as well while moving. It will move. Now hopefully I can get Hyakkimaru to aim. That's alright. I don't mind taking damage here too much because this is the final one that Hyakkimaru has to verse for this chapter, so it's not too bad. Gotta pick that up, shoot, and there we go. That's the end of that eye. Very good.
Is it dead?
And he asks, is it dead? Well, not yet. Because we have to defeat the mountain's heart. Which is what Dororo is going to do. Dororo made it back to the shrine. She finds that the shrine is all burnt up and ruined. Very sad. There it is. We find that there's the mountain heart inside.
Is this
So we have to go and collect some bombs and then blow up the hut. So we collect these 3 fire bombs. Back. So yeah. Now he's got that back. Now we're on to chapter 4. This chapter revolves more around fiends that are foxes. So you're gonna see a lot of foxes. 3-tailed fox, 6-tailed fox, 9-tailed fox, and also just enemies that are foxes in this chapter.
Controlled by an alliance.
Quite a few cutscenes at the start of this chapter. Chapter 4 is called The Wall. So this wall in the chapter is kind of, it's a split, there's like a war going on, or a battle that was going on, and the wall was kind of the split between one side and the other of the opposing sides of the combat. Have to go to the shiny spot on the map so that we can trigger a fight. Which are some foxes. There are 14 on the floor, and then there's gonna be 6 in another place that we're gonna have to go to. I really hope that these enemies spawn close to each other, so then my blade can hit multiple of them at once, because they can just decide to run away, which is not very nice, because I would rather the enemies be up close, so then I can defeat them faster. Now, there's 12. There we go. So there's 15. Sorry, 15 on the floor, 15 up top. I thought it was 14 and then 6, but it's not. Yep. So now we have to go up this platform, up the wall, to get to the top of the wall to get the other foxes. This. Pick up some little just medicine along the way, just because it's there. Here they come. There's 1, 2, 3, and then there's 2 up here. Very good. Now this next boss is 3-tailed fox. And this boss can be really mean in that So the fight is on the platform. The fox can fly away from the platform or just kind of walk away from the platform. And it's really hard to reach without ammunition. You don't have a lot at this point because you've already used it for previous stuff. The first time that the fox goes away from the platform, that just always happens, but it can happen multiple times. So what we're gonna want to do is, she didn't even let me try it. She just ran back. Okay. Because this is something that can happen that loses you a lot of time. It's just random. So it's a big pain to have to deal with. So wait for her to come to the platform. She's going to this side. What you can do, hopefully she lets me do it, is if you go in front of her, you can bait this attack. Yep. Or she can teleport. That's not good. I'm hoping she stays there. She did not. Please. Don't be mean. Okay. Shoot the cannon that I got from her. Just avoid these. Because the best fight you can get is just the first time that she goes away, she comes back, and then you can constantly get her to do this. It's not like guaranteed because sometimes she just doesn't do it, but it is possible to just constantly get that. So yeah, I'm losing quite a bit of time here, but it's not something you try and control but you don't have full control over. I do have spirit, but if I use it, she might, yeah. She's doing that. And then going out again. This fight is panning out really bad. At least I have a cannon to use each time. Because she can also drop bullets. And bullets, like, you only get a couple of them, so it's not too helpful. Yeah, okay. And there's the fight. And after defeating the three-tailed fox, Yakimara gets his lymph nodes. Cool. We have some soldiers that we need to defeat here, but we're going to be using non-lethal because they're human and not fiend. Now this is one of those fights that is actually really scary because of the stun and how many of these soldiers can be on screen at once. So typically I try and be close to here so that the camera goes top down so then I can get a really good view of where all the enemies are. Like this. Enemies, however, can also block, which is real pain. I really would like an invincibility potion to drop so that I can just focus on just pumping out damage rather than avoiding attacks, because you have to avoid some things. If they're trying to attack you, the stagger is just real time loss. Okay, there we go. I got one invincibility. You can tell if I have a potion active because Yakimara glows the color according to whatever power up he got. You can get invincibility, defense, or higher attack. Higher attack is also pretty nice. We also get introduced to enemies with spears. So if they're an enemy with a spear, they don't have to get too close to you to actually do damage to you. Hence, you know, that's just the benefits of having a spear. But that also means they can hit me when I'm a bit further away from them. They can hit me, but I can't hit them, which makes them a little bit harder to deal with. They also have a bit more health.
I see.
So you have to hit them a bit more, which is why it's always really good to try and hit them from behind, because they take more damage. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump through this to pick up a firebomb. Just something I want to have later. so that I have 2 equipped and not just 1. Gonna get a little bit of a cutscene here. So Dororo in this chapter is helping these children find their home with their mother and father because they got lost or something like that. Because of the village getting possessed by fox demons or fox fiends. As you see here, the villagers are all got this aura around them. And the villagers, they say, "Get out, spy!" Yeah, they think Dororo is a spy, so that's what they say in English. The English version of this game, like, the voice acting is just funny at times. Which is very typical of, like, yeah, English voice acting on PlayStation 2 games. It's just, some of it's just so goofy. They say, "Get out, spy!" Yeah, it's funny. So we run around here. This is not the direction. We go here and around. Having the map on the right hand corner is very good for this chapter because there is a lot of weaving around to get to places and going through holes and stuff like that. Have to go under here. And then get to here. Yeah. That's fine. So yeah, as you can tell, this map, like when you play for the first time, you have no idea where to go because there's a lot of, you know, nooks and crannies and just don't know where to go. There's also like, there's breakable doors, like this one here, that I have to go through. That you go through. The way to get around this area to progress to the next part is to go like around. Like it's very, there's no real shortcuts. If there was a shortcut, like a skip or something, that would be amazing to find here or in this chapter at all. Because this speedrun, there's only one known skip, if I'm correct. It's like a really tiny skip too, so yeah. There hasn't been too many people who have worked on this run, but there have been, I think there's 4 runners in total. 2 of them are inactive, if I'm correct. And then it's me and Timmy Toby, who is another runner, the world record runner. Yeah. So, if you want to pick up an action adventure game and want to try and hunt for skips or something, well, you can come on over. That would be nice. So yeah, here we have a bit more platforming to get around. Go up here. Oh. To go up these buildings. But yeah, there are quite a few invisible walls in this game because I've tried finding a few things, but they usually lead to nothing, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, anyway, that's okay. So we're about to find the home of the kids that Dororo is helping out. They're just over here. Mommy, Daddy! Yep, so Dororo helped them get to their home, but I'm pretty sure their mother and father actually aren't there. So to protect them, Dororo takes them to a different house outside of the village so that they won't get harassed by the other villagers. Because the children aren't possessed by the fox spirits or anything like that, so Dororo keeps them safe. Very good. Now we're playing as Yakimaru. We have to do a bit of running around the village. So that we can get to defeating the things that we need to defeat. can also open this chest as well that has bullets. Because, yeah, from the previous fights, we have, like, no ammunition at all. So, I really want to make sure that I get more cannon ammo and stuff like that. The cannon ammo is actually going to be used for the next fight to help us out for that. There's bullets. We're going to want to be going this way. If I didn't have the map here, I would get heavily confused. Because to me it all kind of looks the same. Let me go down here. Now there are some more of this Daigo soldiers. And we have to defeat 30 of them. But these ones are possessed. So they can... Oh, these ones are controlled by... Actually, I don't think they might be Daigo. I think they're more fiend soldiers. Anyway, either way, they gotta go. Sorry, we gotta go. I'm gonna use the spirit move because I can. Since this is a lethal battle and not a non-lethal battle, you can only use the spirit move if you have your 2 arm blades accessible. Not just the blade that Kyakimaru holds. So we see archers. I'm pretty sure this is the first time you see archers in the game. They're an enemy type that doesn't have a lot of health, but they can be rather annoying because they always try and step back. Because, yeah, typically, you know, an archer, you know, it wants to step back out of the firing line and then just shoot the enemy. Whereas the soldiers will come up to close proximity and try and get you. Yeah, we're almost there. These are the last 2. There we go. Cool. Just check my... Okay, so my health is a little bit down. So I'll pick up the life from that crate that was on the right. There was also spirit in that crate, but my spirit was already full, so it didn't matter. Now going to Daigo's Manor. There are these... Yep. These crossbow machines. Probably not called that. I can't think of the name right now. But they're gonna be firing if you get in front of them. There's a cannon bullet to the side. I want to pick that up. There's also another one here. And we keep going ahead. Now we have to find Daigo's Manor, which is not too far away. There are going to be some enemies that try and, like, block your way, but we'll just make sure that we avoid them. Foxes that spawn, soldiers that spawn. Make sure I go the correct way. Yeah, see, those enemies, as soon as they spawn in, they're attacking. So, yeah. An enemy doesn't have to be fully there to just attack. Ruthless. Go around. No, his mana will just be down here. Where it has like the yellow arrows going downwards, that's where we're going to be going. But before we go there, there is a sword over here in this barn. I don't know how there's just a random sword in the barn, but that sword is what we're going to be using. Or not barn, it's more like a stable for horses here, in the stable. We pick that up because that's gonna be a lot stronger to equip. We equip it. And it has like more of a flame glow because it's like a flame sword. So here we actually meet Hyakimaru's father and Hyakimaru's brother. Because, yeah, at the start I mentioned that his father is a leader of Japan. So he's Daigo. And he meets his brother. Now this is Six-Tailed Fox. Six-Tailed Fox is a little bit of pain because teleportation was such a great hit in boss fights. And this boss fight is no different, even though I really do not like teleportation in boss fights. But this boss loves to teleport. But we're hoping that this boss will do the 3 bites, because that's the best move to take advantage of, in my opinion. I just hope that she teleports. Yep, so there's 1 bite. We're gonna get another one. There's 2 bites. And then the 3rd bite, you want to be next to her, because if you go behind her, she will teleport again. She stays a bit longer if you're positioned next to her rather than behind her, to get that attack on. But the worst thing that she can do is when she teleports and then just teleports again. Like there's no... you can't even get any form of damage on her. She just takes up time. This move isn't that great, but at least I can get even a little bit on. Just something. Even just a little wee bit of damage is better than nothing. But still, it can just take up a lot of time, this boss. But the 3 bites are the best. Okay, there we go. And now Hyakimaru gets another body part. He gets his pancreas. Now he's got his pancreas. There's gonna be quite a bit of running in the next few areas. So we're just gonna be... well, what the goal is to break these colored statues. Because there's these, these demon barriers that are blocking the way. So we have to break them to keep going. The first one is green, and you can always tell where the statue is because it shines a colored light up to the sky. So like when you're playing casually, you can know kind of where it is and where to go because you can see, oh, there's a light over there. Yeah, so there's a green one. There's also going to be yellow, blue, and red, if I remember correctly. So we'll have to go in to break those ones as well. The music is also really peaceful in this chapter. Except when there's enemies around. So yeah, there's a barrier there. We can't go through it just yet. So we have to break the statue, which actually, maybe it's not yellow, it's orange. It's more like an orange. Oh, yeah, it's kind of yellow-orange-ish. No, it's more yellow than orange. It's not orange, it's yellow. But the barrier looks orange, but the statue looks yellow. Anyway, whatever it is, we broke it, and we can progress onwards. Oh, that's not the direction. I'll go this way. Go around to the right. There is quite a bit of looping around. Now we have to go left and then back up. The map is a great help. And down again. If I didn't have cannon ammunition here, I could break those barrels there for cannon ammunition because there's 2 in there. But 5 is the maximum that Hyakimaru can hold. So I already have the maximum, so I'm just going to keep that. break this. As soon as I do, I want to get my cannon. It's okay. If you're fast, you can do it. But I wasn't facing the right way to do it. You can shoot it from just up there. But there are enemies there to harass you, which is very unfortunate. But we try our best. There's an enemy that's going to spawn in this corner, which is why you can't take that corner real tight. I didn't even take it tight, but I still got hit. That's okay. Now, there's a blue statue here. Get the cannon out. Blast it. Barrier goes away. Pick up another cannon ammo there. Refill. Refill. Very good. Some foxes here try and get you. But you just make sure you don't get got. Don't get caught in them. And then we go down. Now there's gonna be a dark blue barrier there, so we have to travel all the way around to get the dark blue statue. And a red statue as well. Over here. And we can't go to the right, so we have to just keep going up. We have to go all the way around to the left, and then we go back to the right. And we go down, and then to the right. And then here. I got very confused with running around these areas when I first played. It was very confusing. But now it's not so bad. Because at least I know where things are. Typically where enemies are clumped together is kind of where all the action is. So yeah. Typically. And then there's the red statue here in the corner. There's gonna be some enemies that spawn. Yeah, guys with spears. They are really deadly. Because one thing that the skeletons with spears can do is they can do like a multi-hit that just keeps going on, and it's really painful too. So I got all my cannon, which is really good. Health, get more bullets there. And now, coming up here, we have a fight with a boss whose name is Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes Saburota. He's one of the characters that gets introduced in this chapter. And we gotta fight him. So what I want to do here is get behind him. When he does that move, I want to do a jumping attack that goes, his back is up against a wall, which is not very good. Come a bit closer, please. Okay. He's doing this move, which is a little bit odd. When he does that move, I do a jump, 2 light attacks, and then a heavy attack. And that heavy attack can hit him from the back, which stuns him a little bit, and then you can do more attacks on him that way. Yeah. So that's a strat for him there, but if he does that kind of 2-slice move, but he kept doing just a single slice move, which is a bit different. That's okay. Now we're gonna be versing Hyakimaru's brother. He wants to have a fight, but he's not really that strong. This fight can be like the easiest or the most annoying kind of fights, because what you want to do is you want to get behind him. But he's very good at locking onto Hyakimaru. So you gotta see what moves he's doing, because that move, his lock on won't stop until right to the end of the attack animation. If you try just to attack him with, like, just... He will block and counter. So you gotta wait till he attacks. And he's really good at just not showing you his back. He'll just show you his front and then you just get pummeled for it. So you gotta really just look out for that. So this is Ninetales. So this is the final boss of this chapter. Ninetales is, well, Ninetales. She's really big. And this first kind of phase, she doesn't take a lot of damage. So you just gotta hit her enough until she goes to the next phase. There we go. So now we can do quite a bit more damage to her. This move is pretty good because you can get behind her and do quite a few moves. During her fight, she will do this. She can't be damaged when she is spawning in enemies. She'll do this quite a bit throughout the fight. And by defeating these little foxes, you can get ammunition for the fight, but I really just want to not have to deal with them. I just want to focus on defeating the boss so that we can just end this. So I'm going to try and do my best just to focus on her. So we just try and get her only on screen. Because if the other foxes are on screen, Hyakkimaru will focus on them rather than Ninetales, which is not really what we want. We want the boss defeated. We don't care about the little guys. She's going back up, which means she's probably going to spawn more. Yep. Yep, she's getting ready. I still have some bullets, but I probably should try and get rid of some foxes. Just to get some more ammunition, but it's not too bad. Also, when she does her fire move, it lags the game a lot. So that's also another good reason to just try and hit her more than deal with the foxes. I just want them for some ammo. I would really like cannon ammo more than anything. I can't even see what ammo I'm picking up because they're just... Yeah, I think I even picked up anything. Dororo is also really good. She's helping in the fight, which I'm very happy about. Yeah. See, you can tell also if she's spawning because that happens. It is unfortunate. I would like, so there's a lot of gun ammo around, but not cannon. But anything is better than nothing, honestly. This move, she cannot be damaged during, so this is like the worst move that she could basically do, besides her summoning. I think she's summoning again. Yeah, she is. Ninetales, why? Yeah, this fight can just be a bit of a bore, the little mate dude. Okay, cannon ammo, that's good that I got that. Cannon is very good. Gonna use that on you right now. Gonna get those bullets, gonna get more bullets. Dororo is also helping me out. Dororo is being a champion, throwing rocks. Now if this fox could just calm down and come down. There we go. Oh, what's going on? That was a really good move to take advantage of, but I just was not close enough. There we go. Okay, I'm very thankful that I was able to kill her there, and and she didn't fly up more. Okay, well, overall, everything considered, that fight was okay. Because, yeah, so her summoning just happens. You just have to try and do as much damage in between it and get her before she does it again. Typically happens quite a few times. Now we're on to chapter 5. So chapter 5 has a lot more of a snowy setting. There's going to be lots of ice and snow. On Mount Fudo, which I'm pretty sure is a mountain that actually appears in other games as well. I'm pretty sure it appears in Okami, if anyone knows that game. I'm pretty sure that mountain also appears in that game. One of the Japanese mountains. So we have 40 soldiers that we have to defeat here. They are the soldiers with swords, soldiers with bows, and soldiers with spears. So we have the whole collection of soldiers. And they're gonna be spawning a lot. Really hoping that they can just spawn all together. I need to be really careful with my health. There is a rice ball over there, so I'm gonna go get that. But it's just so easy in fights like this to just get absolutely overwhelmed. Thankfully, invincibility is dropping, which is really good. So it looks like all the enemies that have spawned in that I need to defeat. It's just a matter of now just getting rid of them. Now there's one straggler, which I'm gonna guess is an archer. Yep, it's always an archer, because they love to run away. So we defeated 40 soldiers, and now we have quite a big mob fight in that we have to defeat 100 fiends, which is a lot. But thankfully a lot of the fiends in this fight don't have a lot of health, so they're going to be taken out pretty fast, so long as they spawn relatively close to me. So I'm hoping I can get them to spawn kind of near me or near this rock by standing near this rock. Because enemies will typically spawn around you in like a circumference around you. So we're just gonna try and just get them out. After you defeat a certain amount, there'll be different types of enemies that start coming. You get these flying enemies, and we're also gonna get some more enemies that have a lot more health. Stinking birds. But yeah, just try and keep them close to this rock so they don't spawn too far away from me. We're down on the floor there. Probably a bad idea for me trying to go to him, but that's fine. There's some here that are coming with more health. It lags quite a bit from how many enemies get on screen. And like mainly them spawning in is what creates quite a bit of lag. But we just try our best. I'm saving my spirit move for when the ones with the most health spawn in. which are gonna be coming in soon. Yeah, those ones that are like pure white. They're like a one with more health. Also, those enemies love to charge at you, so I also like to just use it there so that they don't interrupt me hitting them. So this is gonna be 98 and then 99. Yeah, very good. There we go. That's 100 fiends down. Cool. So this is chapter 5 with the title Legion. Legion is one of the big bosses in this chapter. Oh yeah, and this place is called Shiranui Pass, which I'm pretty sure is also mentioned in Okami. If people don't know what Okami is another game that was released on PlayStation 2 that's an action-adventure game. It's also a game that I really like. I ran it for a little bit, but the speedrun for Okami is really dang hard. It's really, really hard. So I only ran it for like a little bit, but that game is beautiful. That's such a good game. If you're a fan of like really good art styles and just like folklore and stuff like that, you know, I think you'll really like Okami, so I recommend that as well. As this game. Yeah. Yeah. Except getting your hands on a copy of Okami is a lot cheaper than getting your hands on a copy of this game, especially in English. A copy of this game retails around $300 for an English copy. For a Japanese copy, it's a lot less. It's more like $30. So, but yeah, it's just one of those English copies of PlayStation 2 games that is a bit less accessible to get your hands on. But it's still really good. Yeah. Yeah. So we're at Dororo. We're going into this temple basement. Thief Dororo is checking it out. We're doing this little puzzle where we have to push in these drawers and then step on these plates here so that this scroll can go up and we go down. We go down, keep running. Now we have a little kind of a skip here. So instead of this platforming that we would do as intended, you can actually use Dororo's throwing knife as a platform, because you can actually stand on it. If I go here and throw it, you can just stand on it and then keep going. So there's some platforming behind there that you can do to make it across, but when you're playing as Dororo, you can just do that. So that's cool. Saves a little bit of time. Yeah, that's nice. Now what Dororo comes to find is these people with no faces. Their faces have been stolen. Gosh. So that she finds all these faceless people that capture her. Yeah. So, looks like Dororo needs some help. So now we are Hyakimaru and a character that we had met a couple of chapters ago, Misaka, the sister that had wanted revenge for us killing her possessed brother, is here. And she wants her revenge. So she's a boss fight. So this is going to be a non-lethal battle because she's human. And her first boss fight is pretty simple. You just hit her in the back and she falls over. However, one fight is not enough for her. We're going to be seeing her again later. Yeah. So, you haven't seen the end of her. We're around here. And we're going to the shrine that Dororo was at. We're going to be meeting someone there. Jump up here. You go in and then you have to go out to trigger this fight. So this is Red Cap. Red Cap is a boss fight that can be a bit annoying. I say that for a lot of fights in this game, but it's true. But the strategy is you have to get behind Red Cap. If she lets you. She'll try and turn to do her move. So I jump over. Do 5 hits or how many hits I can on her back. Hoping to get more damage on her. If she's up against a wall, it's a bit of a pain. For this first part. So we do our jumping and then we try and get behind her. When she hits a certain damage threshold, she'll start disappearing. But we haven't hit that yet. Now we have. What she does is she summons these little creatures. Little rats and little somethings. Little frogs. Little rats. Frogs and rats. Little weevils and stuff. Squirrels. She summons them to try and attack you. If she's up against a wall or in a corner like this, it's pretty good because they're all clumped together. This move is the worst move that she can do. I'm trying to just... Where is she? Okay, I don't want her to teleport. I'm trying to do the spirit move, but I keep... To do the spirit move, you need to press triangle and Y, and they are both attack moves, so if you don't press them at exactly the same time, the game's like, oh, you just want to attack rather than do the spirit move. Hoping she doesn't do the... Yeah, okay. This move is really bad because it's really hard to actually get any damage on her if she keeps doing it. We're almost there. And for some reason I can't aim. There we go. Ah, golly. There we go. We have a little bit of platforming that we need to do as Dororo. But this platforming is... If you run on these platforms, it's very easy for Dororo to actually miss her double jump. So I always just jump and platform her, because in the past, you try running and double jumping, sometimes it just eats one of your jumps and just does the... Yeah, just does one rather than double. So I always just... Yeah, keep her stable. So Dororo calls out to Hyakimaru that she finds a fiend. That she's found a fiend. So Hyakimaru obviously is interested in that because he wants to get all his body parts back. So he's gonna go check it out. These stone enemies spawn in. Just gonna leave them alone. And now we're at this bridge. I also don't run on this bridge because if you run jump, you sometimes can miss your double jump, and you need it. You need it for this bridge. A lot of gaps in this bridge. Then we just have one more gap, and there we go, we're done. Good. There's rock enemies. Now before we find that fiend that Dororo was calling out to us for, we're gonna meet Misaka again. She wants more revenge, she's not done. But this fight is a bit more tricky in that the floor is ice, so it's really slippery. So it's kind of hard to move around in this fight, and she also does a bit more damage. She looks a bit more cocky now, like she's got some courage. I really want to get behind her, but like getting behind her in this fight can be such a pain. Especially on the ice. For some reason she doesn't have any problems on the ice, but I do. If she falls over, that's fine too, I can deal with it. Oh, she did damage to me. Okay, fine. That's it. She's gone. Well, she's not gone, actually. She's gonna come back again. But not in this chapter. In the next chapter. She's still hungry for revenge. She didn't learn the first time. She didn't learn the second time. But the third time, well, she's kind of forced to learn, so... Ah, yeah. Damn. Anyway. Go up here, there's enemies spawning in. Just avoid them. There are enemies in this chapter that breathe ice, and if they hit you, you turn into an icicle. So, because there's some of these enemies around here, I just want to hit them so that they don't freeze Yakimaru on his way around. There's also those like sludge enemies that spit out purple poison stuff. Also, I don't want to get hit by them either. I don't like getting hit by this guy. He always charges when he spawns in. Always. So it's such a pain to get hit by him. Anyway. So this next boss here, in front of this shrine, is the Thunder Fiend. Thunder Fiend has... He has a few moves. Not too many, but he has a few. And this move that he's doing right now is the best one. There is one move that we are undoubtedly going to see. Yep, it looks like he wants to do it. Where he goes into a ball and charges a lightning sphere around him. Yep, like that. This is the worst move in that costs time. But by going to the side here, it is possible to attack him while he's in that sphere. To get inside it, because it's not solid, it's actually hollow. So you get hit by the sphere and then you recover and you can be inside of it. Now he's being okay because he's not really doing anything. But he can, in some fights, he can lose you so much time by continuously doing that sphere move. But he's being pretty good right now. Just want to keep wailing on damage. Hopefully he will be well behaved. You want to stick in front of him as well. That also helps. So for him not to do the circle move. Two light attacks and a heavy attack while jumping is what I'm doing right now. Just stay in front of him. Keep being good. You're being very well behaved for the marathon today, so that's really nice of you. Yeah, you're being so good. Wow. He only did the sphere once, which is incredible. Because some fights he can do nothing but the sphere and it costs so much time and it makes it so slow. But he was fast. Very good. Pog. As those young kids say, Pog. Now the next boss will be Legion, which was the name of the chapter. So this boss is pretty big in size, and I think it's probably one of the coolest looking bosses in the game. It has a lot of intricate designs and it's pretty nice. We're going to also be getting another new sword for this fight, which we're going to get from a rock. Which will be around here. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that fight panning out like that. Very good. Because I've had that fight go incredibly bad, so... Whenever it goes good, it's always like, very nice. Okay, so this sword is called Flame Tongue +2. It is a bit more powerful than the previous sword that we had, and it glows like a red in Hyakimaru's hand. Yeah. So we're going to be using this sword. We just have to run to Legion. It's a bit up the mountain, so we have to travel a bit. Oh yeah, when enemies spawn in, they can stagger you. It's really annoying, but it's just how it is. There's a cannon there. I want to make sure that I pick that up, because I'm going to be needing that later. There's not too many cannon bullet pickups around, so I just want to pick up the ones that I can for the run. Okay. To run around here. It's going to be some of the ice enemies and the ones that spit out mucus around here. So hopefully none of them hit me, because it's just a horrible place here to get hit. Because there's steps, you're trying to get up the steps, but also not trying to get hit by them. And they spawn in really fast too. Okay, good. That's good. All good. Come around here. Oh, good. Health is good. There is a health in that stone there, so if your health is bad, you can pick that up, but I don't need to pick that up because my health is pretty good. So now this is Legion. Now as the name suggests, Legion has quite a few different arms that hold different weapons and has a really cool design. He has quite a few different moves. And but for the speed run, we do a jump, 2 light attacks and a heavy attack. And when you jump, when you hit like above his skirt, it actually does a lot of like, the flashing means that you're hitting a weak spot. So he gets staggered a lot like that. And he'll just travel back a lot. He can do attacks but if I chase him, he should be pretty good. If he does an attack like that, I go to the right side. But yeah, he's pretty much like he will just try run away from you because you're so powerful, basically. And yeah, that's the end of that fight. He doesn't really get an opportunity to do much, but that's okay. We have to go fast. And from defeating Legion, Hyakimaru gets his nose. So that guy stole his nose.
Let's get off this mountain.
Anyway. So we're gonna make our way down the mountain, but before we do, we're actually gonna go back into the shrine. Because we're gonna be seeing Red Cap again.
This temple.
Because Dororo tells us that this was the temple that she got captured in and what she saw and stuff like that. So we're gonna go down there and check it out. There are these creatures on the stairs. Hopefully we can just bypass them and not get attacked by them or anything, because it is actually possible to get attacked by them on that staircase. So we're gonna be doing what we did with Dororo as Hyakimaru. Of course, Hyakimaru can't throw a throwing knife. You can't use them. Only Dororo can use them. There is quite a bit of lag happening in the game right now, which is not good. So he has to do the platforming. Platforming with lag is very sad. But thankfully I look like I'm doing it. Very good. I'm really horrible at platforming, which is why I'm probably never gonna run a platformer. But that's okay, we made it. My perception of where platforms are is really bad. Anyway, we've hit the boss fight, so now we're going to verse Red Cap again. But this time, they're gonna meet their maker, as they say. Now, what are you doing? You're just running away from me. This sword is a lot more powerful than the one that we previously had. Red Cap can also fall down. So at moments like this, I'm going to use the spirit move. Do a lot of damage. She can summon the orbs, not just throw them like that. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 light attacks, 2 heavy attacks. Very good. Nice. Okay. And that's the end of that boss. Now Hyakimaru will get his whole arm, which actually increases the strength of... yeah, increases his strength quite a bit.
Jackie.
So now, whenever you're in fights, instead of him having, like, just his held sword and then the swords in his arms, if you pick to have the swords in his... I'll just show it, because it's cool. He'll actually have one of his arms and then one of them not his arms. Yeah, so that's just something. To fit with the body parts that he's obtaining. Yeah, so that's cool. That's a cool thing. Yep, so they're noticing, the fiends are noticing that their brethren are falling. So they're calling a meeting with Hyakimaru's father and to, you know, figure out what's going on. So that's what's happening in chapter 6. A lot of enemies that come down. I was a bit too close to them. That enemy there that's shining really bright is a new enemy for this chapter. It's called 100 Eyes. And it's not a required enemy to defeat, but it's just kind of a cool enemy that's just covered in eyes. So here we have Misaka for the 3rd and final time. But this time she has gained powers from the fiends. Okay. It was rather interesting she was up there. It doesn't always happen. But I really want to get behind her. There we go. Okay. And that's the final time you verse her. So she was approached by that other guy, this Snake Eyes, about, you know, obtaining fiend power and stuff to defeat Hyakimaru because they're kind of on the same side, you know, even if they have different motives. So she turned to the dark side, basically. So now we have this forest. This forest, the cursed forest, is, well, cursed in that, like, you can get lost in this forest really easily if you don't know where to go, because a lot of the directions chain into each other. But just to get where I want to go right up, and then up again. That's the way to get to... yeah, so we go right, and we go up. We'll go up. There is actually a side boss in this forest that you can actually get to when going around it. And now we go up again. When I see that little squiggle on the map at the top, that means I'm getting to where I want to go. Because that's the progression. We go up. They're having a meeting. And we're gonna go inside and see what's happening. Now what happens here is I'm pretty sure Hyakimaru gets frozen, kind of, if that's the word. I don't think that's the right word. But anyway, he gets in such a way that he can't move, basically. So Dororo has to come and save him. And you hear a bit of a conversation.
If you truly wish to unify this country under a peaceful regime,
You must kill this man who dares to defy us. It's him! Yakimaru!
Yakimaru, what's wrong? Are you alright?
So yeah, there's Daigo and Tohomaru. Daigo is Hyakimaru's father.
your father was given
And Tohomaru is Hyakimaru's brother.
change for that which was dearest to him.
Who are you? Show yourselves!
The fiend's laughing is so funny.
We are here, right in front of you.
Where? Show yourselves!
Can you not see?
What? The eyes! They moved! Foul demons! I'll destroy you!
Yep. So basically for that with Doro you have to break in. But I also collect the sword. Because that sword is really powerful that we're gonna give to Hyakimaru. Now this next boss is actually Hyakimaru's father's horse. The Daigo's horse is actually a fiend. I make sure that Dororo gives me the sword that she picked up. Because it's more powerful. Oh my god, this lag. Okay, that lag was not normal. Okay, this breathing is really good. The horse will typically do this when it has high health. And yeah, there's more attack moves that you can now do with this sword that you couldn't with the previous one. Like you can do combinations with. Yeah, now it will teleport. When it gets really low health, it starts to teleport. Which is unfortunate. If you can kill the horse before this happens, that's really good. But sometimes it's unfortunate. There we go. Okay. That's the end of that horse. Now from defeating that horse... I almost said defeating that force. It is a force, but it's a horse. You get Hyakimaru's right eyes. Now he has both of his eyes. Yeah, very good. Now this next fight is gonna be another mob fight of 100 fiends. It's an annihilation battle. So similar to the previous one in the snow chapter. There's gonna be a bit of lag and I'm gonna try and keep them spawning near me by staying close to a wall if I can. So we just try and... Or some of them are back here, so I might actually just get these guys. They're all spread out. They're really spread out, which is something I don't want. I also really don't want to be hitting individual enemies at a time. I would like to hit multiple of them at a time. Because that's how you get a fast fight. There is a pot of attack here. Attack up. Yeah, now Hyakimara with this sword, he can do a 6-hit attack. Which is really good. There's another attack up. That's gonna help with the enemies that have more health. Drops are random, by the way. Sometimes you do a fight and you get no drops. Sometimes you get a fight and you get a lot of drops. It's just... not something you can completely control. You just have to try and control what you can. So we have the bugs. It progressively gets like harder enemies the more you defeat them. And the enemies with the most health spawn last. Let's do this. Okay, here they are. But unfortunately, he was being a real pain. Go around. The umbrellas are the ones that make that noise. Okay. Okay, well that was the end of them. Cool. There are a lot of enemies in that fight, so it can be hard to organize them all, because you really want to hit multiple at once to just defeat them all, and not have them too far apart, because then you have to run to them, and it takes time, and yeah. Yeah, that just happens sometimes. You just gotta try your best. So now we have to get out of this cursed forest. So we go right down. Right down, yeah. Actually, that's incorrect. You have to go down and then right down, right down. So let me do that first, because I don't want to get lost. First thing you have to do is down here. Similar to how you enter here, you have to go the opposite way. I have to just go back the way that I came. There we go, right. Go down. And then we go right. And then I'm pretty sure the next down will be the final one. Yeah, here. Yeah, okay, cool. We're out of the forest. Yay! Didn't get confused, because it's easy to get confused there. Now, this fight is a boss. It's for Boar Fiend. Boar Fiend has a backpack on his back that can summon enemies, shoot bombs, and he also has a sword that he can use to attack. His weak spot is just behind him. His backpack. Sometimes he spawns really annoying enemies. I'm gonna be doing the jumping, 2 light attacks, 1 heavy attack. I'm gonna be using this just to get a bit of damage out. Also to get rid of the fiends because they're annoying. Yeah, those bombs, if they hit you, they send you back quite a bit. You also can just go for a walk and you have to chase him. Don't like the bombs. I don't like the enemies. When he's on the floor, I'm gonna try. Almost. I thought that might be enough, but it was just a bit short. Okay, there we go. Now after defeating Morphine, you see what body part? He gets his pectoralis muscle? Pretty sure that's the pec muscles if I'm correct. I think he gets his chest, yeah. Now this is the end basically of this chapter. We just have to go to the end here. Some enemies spawn in and they try and get you, but they don't get you. That's it.
At last.
At last. So now we are on the final chapter. We're almost there. Yay! We just have one final... So there's 7 chapters in the game. The final chapter is a bit big, but we're almost there. Yay! We're almost there. And the final chapter is called Tragedy. We have to head to Daigo's castle. So we've been to his manor, but we haven't been to his castle, which is like, yeah, the mansion. So we have a bit of traveling that we need to do. This was the same village that the kids lived in. We're gonna be doing a little bit of platforming similar to what we did in that chapter. Except we're going a different direction. To get up here. Travel around here. Also, traveling on top of these buildings is entirely intentional in the game. Yeah, it's not like a skip rope thing. They want you to run on the house roofs. Yeah. On the roofs. Yep. So we go this way. And then we can make it to Daigo's mansion, which you see up there in the sky. Well, it's not in the sky, it's just, it looks like it's in the sky. It's just a bit hazy because it's really big. Yeah, it's pretty cool they put it up there. But first we have a fortress that we need to go fight through. There's some soldiers and archers that we're gonna have to deal with. Yep, so non-lethal warfare because they're human. We just use our held sword, but it's really powerful, so it's not that big of a deal. They're blocking, which is a real pain. He's down, they're down. Archers are firing arrows while you do that fight in the middle. Get rid of those spears. Guys with spears. Spearsmen, I guess you could call them. Because you call enemies that Yeah, you call warriors that have a bow archers. You call enemies warriors that have a sword swordsmen. An enemy's a person that has a spear is a spearsman. I'm trying to think of the correct term, or maybe lanceman. Can't think of the right term right now. But anyway, we have to also defeat them too. There's probably a correct term for a person that wields a spear. Anyway. Yeah, so basically there's 3 soldiers with spears that spawn. You defeat them, and then there's 2 soldiers with arrows that spawn and you defeat them too. It's really good if you can like defeat them while breaking the wood, but that doesn't always happen. Oh, there he is. Now we have the 2 archers at the top, coming down. And there we go. Cool. So now we can actually get in the castle. There you go. Gonna be quite a few layers of fights, because this is kind of like, this is the final area, so it kind of dedicates some fights to the enemies that you had previously seen throughout the game. But before we do that, we have to do this little bit of platforming to get this sword. Very good, I got it first try. That's really good. It's really easy to slip on there, so I'm really happy to get that first try. This sword increases your health by quite a bit, as well as your attack. So it's really important to get. It also glows green, like a lightsaber. Well, yeah, they are green lightsabers. Yeah, anyway, it's like a lightsaber, kind of. Okay, now we have to go through this elevator.
Dororo!
Okay. And then there's gonna be a fight with rock monsters in this purple room. And these, the rock monsters are a little bit more of a pain to deal with because they charge. Their charge is probably the worst to have to deal with. Should have done it when they were all together, but that's fine. Okay, that was exceptionally good, because I hit them all. I actually have a cannon left, so I'm going to use that. Very good. They also drop a lot of bullets, but I don't really need bullets at this part of the game. So now we have these little slime monsters. Let's go around and hit them. When they spawn in. Hoping that they spawn together. The ones that spawn in each time. Because then you can do this move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which actually defeats them. If they're all clumped up together, it's really good. Now there should just be ones that were in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Now we can go through here and progress. You can also call out to Dororo with the circle button. This is the first floor of Daigo's castle. We're gonna pick up this rice ball. And we're gonna go this way. Because there's a switch we need to hit to lift this bridge, which I'm jumping over right now. And then we're gonna go back to get up onto the bridge. Hit this switch. The statue moves it to rotate. It's gonna be an enemy that spawns here. If I run without letting them spawn in, it will dammer and stagger Yakimaru. So I don't want to do that. This room doesn't have any enemies in it, it just has supplies. There isn't really anything too much in that room that I need, because I'm already full on health, full on spirit, and I won't be using the gun too much, but I might use the cannon for a boss later. Now we have these little enemies. They're actually really annoying, because they can block, and there's a lot of them, and they dive into the floor. Especially the ones that are red. I just have to keep swinging my sword around. Yep, he's going down. He needs like one attack. There we go. And that's it. After that we go into this elevator. Oh, we're going to be on the other side of the previous room. Okay, I did remember to hit the button. Very good. Because, yeah, you need to have this bridge this way. This next room is a bit of a trap room. There's lots of spikes and flames and stuff like that. But it's pretty alright for this because you can just run through that part when they're all down. And now we break this. This makes the floor in... Yeah, it makes the floor in the previous part. Oh god, okay, yeah. I was thinking to myself, yeah, that's not good, okay. I didn't make it on top of it. Go through like that. And Dororo gets left behind. No, I was kidding. Left in the spike room. So we have to run back to go through that floor. What we got here? Now we have a section where we're gonna play as Dororo. She's gonna do a bit of sneaking. And she also even has a boss fight of her own in this chapter, which is the only boss fight that she actually versus throughout the main storyline. And we gotta release some prisoners that are screaming for help. Hit this switch, the door opens. Run through the... Oh, didn't run through them, but that's alright. Now we go in here. And we meet Dragon Tank. First thing I'm going to want to do is equip the fire bombs that I have had in my inventory. Here. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, very good. This is very good. That's not very good. That is an horrible direction. Okay, so basically this isn't really the main fight, but you're meant to throw a bomb at Dragon Tank and push them into the hole. I don't know why it didn't just push them into the hole there. That was not very nice. Push them in a very odd direction. But that's okay, we'll just try again. Fire. Okay, I'm so close to putting them in that they're not even going in. There we go. It almost looked like they were trying to drive in the hole as well, but they just couldn't. Anyway, that's okay. That's not the last time that we're going to see Dragon Tank. That's kind of just like a little introduction to the enemy. But their boss fight is coming up later. Which is not too different, but instead of bombing them into a hole, you just have to bomb them to death. Basically. We come down here, we find prison cells where some prisoners have been held captive, some humans. And we're gonna find... They're not in their cell, they're in different cells. We have to go and find them. But before we do, we have some fiends we need to defeat.
Don't mess with me.
There's a rock monster, get rid of him.
Don't mess with me.
Dororo always says, "Don't mess with me" whenever she defeats an enemy. A little bit of sass.
Don't mess with me.
I just imagine like a young girl that says "Don't mess with me" and then clicks her fingers like. Anyway.
Don't mess with me.
Don't mess with me.
Don't mess with me. Your max health has gone up.
Okay. Yeah, there are little hearts you can pick up that increase Dororo's health, but it only does it by a tiny smidge. So, yeah, it's not too important. Okay, so now we have to save the villagers, or save the prisoners villagers that are prisoner.
Thank you for everything.
And they say, "Thank you for everything." It's just the same voice line.
Thank you for everything.
Even if there's multiple guys, it's just that one voice.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything. You're welcome.
Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Yep, that's it. So you just have to know which doors to open for the 10 prisoners, because in the other rooms there are fiends, like enemies that pop out. So just open the right doors and you'll be all good. Yeah. Survive the dragon tank's attack, so he's chasing us now. This is the only part of the game, that small hallway where you have to run. You can play the whole game without running, but you have to have that. You have to run there, otherwise you just die. The game also doesn't tell you how to run. So on my first playthrough I have to be like, how do I run? Anyway, that's all good. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. He's coming. Now, throwing a bomb while jumping, the bomb will do more damage. If I can hit my enemy. Oh my goodness. Okay, I've run out of bombs, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. We'll pick up some more. You also do more damage from behind, so I really should have tried to be behind the enemy, but that's okay. Also, when Dragon Tank is low health, it moves really weird. Like, look at this movement of the boss. It moves really weird. Very good. Okay, anyway, they're defeated.
Maru, that
was probably a fiend. It was! So now, after defeating that fiend, Hyakumaru gets his teeth. Gets his teeth. Now he has teeth. Very good. Cool. So we're diving a bit more into the castle. There's gonna be kind of an interesting fight here. It's a bit different in that for the enemies, you can only see their silhouettes through the paper wall. I think it's paper wall, yeah. To the left here. So the camera goes like this, and then you can only really see their silhouettes. Which can also be a pain, because this isn't just a straight alleyway. There's actually a lot of space. Yeah. So I can't tell a lot of where the enemy actually is. I mean, it's an interesting concept, but if it was actually 2D, like they were always in front of you and you just attacked, it would be fine. But they're not always there. That's not the right one. It's this way. Also, because there's spear guys too, they're pretty annoying. Because I can't see exactly. Because you could be behind them or in front of them. But all you can really tell is this silhouette. Anyway, that's the end of that fight. I don't have a lot of health right now. It's not too good, but that's okay. I have to defeat these fiends to be able to unlock the door. There's actually a rice ball up the top here, so I'm actually going to take that and keep going. So this next boss is very similar to a previous boss that we've encountered, Ogress, but she gets a bit of an upgrade. Like, she's a lot faster. And she's also green. She got hulked up. Oh well, more like her whole arena is green, yeah. We really don't want her flying. And she's gotten herself stuck here, which is interesting. I was not facing the correct way. Please don't. Okay. Don't do that again. Don't do it again. Don't. Just calm down. Please. When she flies, it's just really bad luck. Oh dear. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Okay. She can be a real pain, but that's alright. Mainly when she flies, because, you know, you can't reach her when she flies. Yeah. Okay, now we go up this cube, we go through these doors, and we can now go through here. That door gets closed because there are some enemies that need to be defeated. Just gonna go cell by cell, hopefully. Oh, well, they're all coming out, so maybe not. Sometimes they can run out, but typically they stay inside, but not always. This guy needs to stop. This guy. That should be all of them to let me out. Very good. And now the next boss fight is Snake Eyes. We get across with the platform.
This.
And now we're gonna verse him again. Except he does have a lot more moves in this fight. Want to do our stronger attack move? That's not what I wanted to do. He still has his basic moves from the first time you fight him, but he also has an array of like fire moves. He also calls them out like a nerd. That's unfortunate. That's actually a really good move to get behind him and do damage. Because it's moves that have a long duration. You can get behind the enemy. But not really when he's pinned on me like that. Yeah, maybe I think it's only good if you're far away and he tries to do it, because then you can avoid it a bit better. There we go. But he did that like 4 times in a row, which is crazy. When he's on the floor, he actually has invincibility, which is really annoying. Also, around the arena, there are these dragon heads that spit out flames. But they don't actually do damage to him. They only do damage to the player. They only do damage to Hyakimaru, which is... I wish it could do damage to, I wish it could do damage to him as well, because that would be pretty cool. Anyway, can't get everything. Okay. Yep, so we go to this door, it closes because there are some mobs. Defeat them. Blocking is very not kind. Defeat them, next one. Defeat them, next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next one. He's blocking. What a prick. Very good. Now Dororo always seems to have one enemy that comes down that she plays around with for a while, but she doesn't do a lot of damage to them. I'm guessing because they typically block her, or she just misses. Either way, there's always one enemy that comes down for her. Now, when running around here, you can actually run behind these contraptions. They're kind of like a crossbow. What do you call them? I'm not sure what you call them, but yeah, they shoot out arrows. And I'm pretty sure if you're in front of them, you can get damaged. I'm pretty sure. But you can actually run behind them because there's a gap. So you don't have to worry about it. You can just run behind them. Now here, there's quite a few enemies that spawn in. But you can also use the guillotine. It's not really guillotine, but yeah, you use those shots to kill them very fast. You can do that. We're coming close to the finish line. We got one more mob fight and then 2 final boss fights, and then that will be the end of the run. Here we have 20 soldiers we need to defeat. Okay, it's probably a good idea to get these archers up here first. Like I said, enemies will spawn according to where you are located. So there's some enemies up here. There's another one here. That was an original spawn, and then there's gonna be him. That's it. Cool. Yep, so we're getting to the finale. The first of the 2 final bosses is not too much of a hassle, but they're rather large, so they can kind of be a bit daunting. They have a point on their head where you can hit a weak point. Yeah, they have a weak point on their head where you can stagger them. You can tell if you hit it because there's like a white flash whenever Hyakimaru attacks. Yeah, we don't like that move. Yeah, that can happen. Don't move away from me, please. There we go. That was unfortunate. You had to queue up that move. There we go. So if you can chain that stagger along, you can get a really fast fight. If you can interrupt him before he starts his attacks. Now we have the final boss fight, so time will be coming up. This fight, however, can be a bit mean, so we'll see how we go. When I was doing practice, I got a pretty good fight with this. And I got a gold, so that was promising, but we'll see how we are for the marathon. Yep, a lot of his moves are very... They surround him, so his back is also a danger zone, not just his front. Now, at the start of his fight, when he has a lot of health, he's actually really slow, and then he gets really fast. He gets a lot faster as his fight progresses. This stagger is really good, if I can keep it. Nope, okay. That move, you want him to hit you because then he will stop it. You don't want to run away from it. But it's unfortunate if he does this because he cannot be damaged during it. Which he is doing quite a few times now. Stop it! Okay, now he'll start teleporting when he starts getting into like red health. Okay, unfortunate. He kept doing that again. Teleporting. Usually when he teleports he will shoot or do a like a ranged move. There we go. Yeah, if he teleports close, he will typically do that slice move. Very good! And time! Hey! Ta-da! We did it! Pog! The end. We defeated Fiends and got body parts back. And the final boss was Tahamaru, possessed Tahamaru, who was Hyakimaru's brother. And Hyakimaru's crying. Oh, shit.
My poor Tahomaru.
My poor Tahamaru.
Yakimaru.
Anyway, thank you so much for having me do the run. If you want to catch me outside of the marathon, I stream on twitch.tv Galasrinie. I do lots of action games and PlayStation 2 action-adventure games, and that's what I really like right now. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can come and hang out with me and be friends. Yay! Okay, thanks for having me. The next person who's doing their run is probably getting set up, so go support them too and keep donating. Okay, thanks for having me. See you, everyone.
What do you plan to do